Hello everybody, this is Calvin from PoorManSurvival.com. Today we're going to talk about an Mtech knife. I've had a lot of people asking me about bargain fighting knives, tactical knives, whatever you want to say. And I thought today I would do one on one of my favorite style of knives, and that's a karambit. Love a good fixed blade karambit. Takes a little skill to use. It's not the same as a dagger where you just throw in a slash or a stab out there. But I'm a big fan of karambits. Don't recommend them for the beginner unless you get a little bit of training, but once you train up, they can be a fantastic knife. So let's get back to the review. Like I said, this is by Mtech. It says USA, and their knives are designed in the USA and mostly made in China, which is unfortunate. So it comes in a box just as you see, and it's got decent little scales. A little rough. I'm going to do a little sanding to mine. Obviously the karambit ring. And it comes with this Kydex style sheath, and on the back is your clips. So you can run this through a belt. I've also run it under, like just in the pants, kind of stuffed in through under the side here. Although when you do that, it is a little difficult to draw out of the sheath. Has all the holes here, so you could actually tie this down to your molly webbing on your gear. It actually would be really nice for that. I'm going to try it on my tack vest. The next time I do a little run and gun section, we'll probably have this on there and give it a shot. So it's pretty decent for those uses. So we'll take the blade out here. So as you can see here, it's got a nice little blade, fairly decent point. Actually, it's a pretty nice point. It's the Mtech logo on the blade, and then on the other side, of course, it's got your MT665 440 stainless, USA designed, and then it says handcrafted in China, which is the only unfortunate thing. I wish they'd make them over here. But it's got, a nice tip. And of course, karambits, mostly designed to be held in the reverse draw. So you have that reverse grip, and you can use a lot of draw cutting attacks. And I prefer them in that way. Although, can be used to switch and held forward here. So you get more of a, but again, it's in a draw style attack. And that's the big thing with karambits, is they're not made for that stab, but you can definitely get a nice draw cut. And this one cuts real well. So, for a knife that I think I paid, like $14.95 for at the Army Barracks, which is an Army Navy store out in, we have them in New England. And it's been a great knife. I've actually carried it quite a bit. I usually don't carry a fixed blade. I usually only train with one. But you can't even tell it's there. I usually carry it on the opposite side of my sidearm. And, some people ask me, well, why do you carry a knife and a sidearm? I just like to carry them that way. I don't always like to have to go to the nuclear option with the gun. Sometimes a knife can just get it done, or, do what has to get done. So to get the ring here, get some nice jimping along the spine. So if you are carrying it up, you can thumb into the jimping. I also like jimping on the ring. I find these rings can be very, very adequate pain compliance tools. Using pressure points and whatnot, they can be really good for that. So, as of right now, for the use I've had, minimal training and some cutting, I like the Mtech. I really do. I found when I first started carrying it, it took me a little bit to get used to carrying this close, because this sheath does carry real close to the body. But now that I've been doing it, I really like it. I actually tend to wear the Kydex just between my pants and my belt, and I haven't seen any pull or anything. So it is a nice carry tool. Now check your local laws, because obviously, fixed blades, some places frown on the carry of them, and this does have, if you go point to point, it's about a 3.5 inch edge, and that's usually what the law does, is go point to point. Technically, you're going to gain another ½ an inch probably if you straighten this out. So it depends on what your laws are on carrying an edge. But, a lot of places, 3.5 inch you can get away with, but they are going to probably question why you're carrying a fixed blade combat knife. I know where I live in New England, I have license to carry a concealed firearm, and I think concealed knives are frowned upon more than concealed firearms. It's a weird thing up here, but a lot of states are like that. So I'll give you some closer looks at the scales, which again aren't bad. They're not the highest quality, but they really aren't bad. I like the way they draw this down into the thumb ring. There's the jimping on top. You know, and again, when you're grabbing that, it is a longer blade, but it does give the correct point. I mean, that's the whole point, is you want this point. I like it beyond my knuckles, at least beyond my first or second knuckle. So when you are doing the striking attacks, you can pull here and draw upwards. We'll be doing some videos showing proper use. I have my Kung Fu Sifu has offered to do a little work and maybe talk with us on proper use on camera. Again, it is a completely different style of combat than your standard dagger style combat. But it is a lot of fun, and it's a great training device. So again, we like the Mtech here at PoorManSurvival.com. There are much nicer fixed blade karambits, but for that under $20 price range, I think this is a great tool. I really do. And a lot of fun to train with and use also. So again, this has been Calvin from PoorManSurvival.com, and we appreciate you watching. So please rate and subscribe, and check out our Facebook page also, PoorManSurvival.com, and keep a watch out. We have a lot of good things coming and a lot of new reviews. Thank you and have a nice day.